Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk today about the electric bills. If you haven't gotten yours in the mail yet for last month, or if you haven't checked, you might be in for a huge surprise because electric bills are going up across the nation. People are super upset about this. In fact, I just got mine in the mail and I'm telling you, I've never paid a bill that high ever. I'll let you know how much mine was in just a minute.
Hey, we live in central Illinois. Our electric rates just went up 50%. My nephew has a ranch home that's probably 1,200 square feet, and his bill went from $260 to $560 in the last month. No difference in usage. The company just increased their rates 50%.
Has anybody else's electric Ameren bills like doubled or tripled this month? Because ours went from like $200 to almost $500. We literally live in the tiniest house ever. We run bare minimum electricity. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, everybody on my TikTok is flabbergasted as fuck because Georgia Power, what y'all really got going on? Can't nobody pay for this. Even if we can't afford it, you think I'm finna give you $400? For what though? Like, for what? Literally for what? My Georgia Power bill is $410 and they expect me to pay that shit today or it's gonna get cut off. But they say light that candle up, baby. Cause I'm not. I know, like, that's not right. I don't give a if I did run it. That's not right. That's not right.
My electric bill is $314.89. See, if you don't believe me, $314.89. That's crazy. Is anybody else's electric bill that high? This is the highest one we've had this year. And I remember in the summers when it used to be $150 and I thought that was crazy high. Now it's $314. Why? Why is it so expensive? We do live in Kentucky, so it does get really, really hot here. But like I said, our bills have never been over $300 like they are now. We leave our air conditioning on 73 pretty much 24/7. So I don't think that's super, super low or anything. We don't have like a pool or a hot tub, although I would love a hot tub. We don't have anything like that we run. We just have a regular house. It is 2 stories, so we do have 2 units, air conditioning units. But you know, our house is only 2,400 square feet about. $314.89. To me, that is way too expensive.
Let's start a thread. What's your electric bill? Mine was $203 for the month of July, which is $61 cheaper than it was last month, which was $144. Now, June was a very mild month in the Northwest. It was actually cold, is what it felt like. To me anyway. So the AC wasn't running too bad. So $144 kind of makes sense. What I want to talk about though, is I made this same post last month. What's up with everywhere else charging so much for their electric? It was astronomical in some of the comments. Okay. Some of the ones that stick out to me was California. California's broken. I swear. People are, yeah, over $1,000 easily. Arizona, another one. That one, same, over $1,000. And then the other one that I guess kind of shocked me was Illinois. Dude. Okay, I don't know if these people are trolling me or they're just like, what are they doing in their house? I could see if you got, you know, there's so many factors here. I don't know what they're doing in their house. Close the door. AC's just kicking up.
We turn now to your money and the reason why so many Americans seem to be paying more, a lot more, for electricity these days.
This summer, electricity bills are surging, but it's not just because of people cranking up their air conditioners. In Philadelphia, the average bill is up $17 a month. In Trenton, New Jersey, $26. In Columbus, Ohio, $27. And it's the artificial intelligence boom that's getting the blame. As the demand for AI has skyrocketed, so too has the need for data centers that power the technology. Those data centers use a lot of power, and the grid is struggling to keep up.
If we do not act decisively, we risk ceding AI leadership to countries that are moving faster to modernize their energy infrastructure.
At a Senate hearing last week, lawmakers and energy experts warn the electric grid is not ready for the coming wave of AI-powered data centers. And while industry leaders called for urgent investment in new generation, they avoided taking sides on fossil fuels versus renewables.
We need more energy.
More generation and
more generation, and we need more transmission independent of source.
But President Trump at an artificial intelligence summit in Pennsylvania said fossil fuels will power the AI age.
We're unleashing all forms of energy, including natural gas, oil, and clean, beautiful coal.
Critics say that strategy ignores the reality of what's cheapest and fastest to build.
Clean energy is the most affordable, and it's the fastest type of energy generation to deploy, outpacing natural gas, which is facing years-long backlogs in turbine availability.
The Energy Department predicts data centers could use 12% of all U.S. electricity by the year 2030.
So my bill for last month was $221. That is crazy. We have never paid an electric bill that high ever. And again, I know it's summer, just like people are saying, but even though we're using the AC a little bit more than we had the previous month, it shouldn't be that high. $221 is absurd. So I can really understand everybody's frustration. In fact, a lot of people are seeing crazy rent increases as well.
You're not gonna believe how much they're increasing our rent. We just got the renewal letter. You guys, we live in a 426 square foot studio apartment in downtown Chicago. And our rent, this year was $2,108. The previous year, it was $1,930. They want to increase it to $2,649. That's over $500 increase. I have no words. Like, where did they come up with this number? I mean, we had already made up our mind that we're not going to stay in the studio anyways. We are going to move and look for a new place. Hopefully starting next week, we're going to start touring apartments. But over $500 increase for a 426 square foot studio apartment. I think this is because a new company apparently bought the building because we have new owners now. Like, we got a letter, I don't know, a couple of months ago that they are taking over the building. So yeah, I think that's why the prices are increasing this much.
I just got the updated lease offer from my landlord and they want to charge me $200 more a month now. So $2,180. When I moved in, it was $1,695 4 years ago.
I'm at my wit's end. I cannot do this anymore. My mortgage company is denying my payments now, which is going to put me into foreclosure. They're literally forcing me into foreclosure because they're not accepting my payments. And they're saying that I am so far behind when I went to the online portal and it said that I had, and this was weeks ago, said that I owned for June 1st. And I already had $477 towards June's payment. And I sent out the rest. Right, and I got a notification in my mail that I had to come pick something up at the post office, which I did, and it's my fucking payment. Because the bank has told my mortgage lender to deny all payments, forcing me into delinquency, forcing me into foreclosure. I can't sell my house because my real estate agent says because of the mold, it depreciates the value of the property. So they want to mitigate the mold, which is going to take months. It's going to take months to get an estimate I don't even have the money to mitigate the mold. And I was going to sell the back 40 so I could get ahead on the mortgage, get the mold mitigated, build a tiny home so I could get out of the house itself. And I can't do any of it. And I'm so at my wit's end. I can't work any more hours because I'm already working 7 days a week. I just don't know what to do anymore. It's like a roadblock at every turn, and now I'm literally looking at foreclosure, which is, I can't afford rents. I'm paying $1,500 a month in a mortgage, and I'm struggling. I can't afford $2,200. I don't know what else to do anymore. I've tried everything, and nothing is working.
Maybe moving back in with your parents is the new flex. And let me explain. Like, what if we stop for a second and just stop burning ourselves out on paying rent and paying all these useless bills on places that we don't even own? You know, you save money, you heal, you reset. You finally get to slow down. You finally get to move with intention and save some money. God willing, you got a good relationship with your parents. And I get it. Everybody's so quick to say, oh, you live at home, you live at home. But honestly, I think that is changing. I think that is quickly changing because people are realizing that this economy is not set up for you to live alone and for you to be single in this country. And honestly, I think it's smarter than struggling. I think it's smarter to stay home and make money and save money than saying, oh, well, at least I got my own place. Yeah, you got your own place, but you broke. Shit's changed. And I think we might have to bring back multi-generational housing because honestly, we Americans, we're the only one who live like this. We're the only one who clown each other for still living with our folks. It's honestly really stupid because if you can save a lot of money, you can combine your resources, you can get whatever you want. This consumerism, capitalistic society that America has brainwashed into our mind that you have to have your own everything is not normal and it's not necessary.
You know, I'm really glad to see that people are finally accepting more and more multi-generational living together with family members, because you really have to combat these high prices and people are getting pinched. And if you don't want to see yourself ending up homeless, then you've got to start to think outside of the box. If you're not having roommates, living with family, downsizing, you really have to start to think, because people are raising the rents and it's harder and harder to afford these increases.
What salary is needed to buy a home to afford a middle-class life today?
Well, if we look at the average home in America, it's sitting around $400,000, and at a 7% interest rate, you would need to make $100,000 with zero debt, no car payment, no student loans, no credit cards, to have a shot at qualifying. If you do have a car payment, student loans, and credit card debt, which most Americans have, you're going to need more, about $120,000 to $130,000 for a $400,000 home. So for the average American right now, statistically, can only afford about a $250,000 home, and there's only a few places in America that still offer homes at that price.
So what's happening at the moment is parents who have some money are helping their children. And that's the only way those children can get into a home of their own. Is that accurate?
That is accurate if they're helping with the down payment, but if the child doesn't have the $100,000 or $120,000 salary to back it up, parents will not only have to help with down payment, but also co-sign if the child doesn't make over $100,000 for most metropolitan cities.
And you don't see much change in the immediate future?
I don't. I would just tell any young person, get their ducks in a row financially and be prepared. So if interest rates do come down, you're ready to pounce, because you don't want to be late if the prices start shooting up. You want to be early to grab yourself a property.
Okay, so let me share with you the 10 cheapest states to buy a home in 2025. And probably renting a home is going to be cheaper in these states as well. So the first one is West Virginia, second Mississippi, next is going to be Arkansas, then Kentucky, Alabama, Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, Missouri, Michigan, and then some honorable mentions are Oklahoma, Texas, the rural areas of Texas, and Louisiana. So there are a lot of states there to definitely take into consideration. You know, you might be thinking, hey, I am not moving to this state or that state. That's okay, but probably on that list, there might be a state that could be something to think about if you do have the means to. People have the ability now to also work remote. So if you could maybe start looking for a job that's remote, and maybe that will allow you to relocate to another state, or just start applying for work in another state and see if you can make the move that way as well. But I'm telling you, when there is a will, there's a way. And if you really think that you are in a state that the cost of living is just way too high, start thinking about if you can move to another state. And that's if you want to. If you don't want to, then maybe find a way to live in a cheaper part in the state where you are in right now. So I hope that sparked some thought. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's have a conversation, and I'll catch you in the next video.
This is important because these are things I chart and have watched for like 6 to 8 years. The reason why I feel that Virginia, West Virginia, and the surrounding states are so important is because West Virginia is one of 2 states in the entire United States that has no nuclear power. That's huge. Okay, so let's put it together. We're getting rid of coal. This is how we make power. This is how we lower our price per kilowatt for homeowners in the area. Okay.
For the homeowner rate per kilowatt?
No, just like percentage-wise. So about 89 to 90% in West Virginia, and I think it's over 60% in Virginia, comes from coal generation.
Yeah, I just want to mic drop that. We're still there. People think we've been talking about renewables in college, on campuses for years, since the 70s.
And I wanted to be able to provide these type of opportunities to homeowners that are raising families and you know, these type of homes, and just be able to minimize those bills so they can have somewhat, you know, of a nicer lifestyle, send their kids to college on their savings. There's so many opportunities. When I dealt with portfolios with a lot of retirees, I noticed how much money is in solar for the homeowner. It's tremendous, especially if they're younger, because they're able to provide those savings to their kids, help them go to college. That's a big one for me. You know, maybe get themselves a little bit out of debt, whatever. But when managed right with their finances, it is such a wonderful asset to have early on. So that for me is big, and that's one of my biggest motivators.
All of your utility companies are switching to solar. They're building all these huge farms with all these solar panels so that you can't see the panels, and they're just going to pump it through to your house, and eventually they're going to get power for free from the sun, charging you as much as they want to. That's great capitalism. I mean, I can't be mad at them unless you were smart enough to go solar and you just take the sun and bring it right to your house. Everyone is going solar. You're either going to buy it from your utility company or you're going to buy it from yourself. That's it. End of story. So which side of that deal are you going to be on?
To the youngsters, I know you're having fun. I used to have fun myself, but there's something you need to know. Stuff like that, that's a load of crap. That's a load of crap.